Attention Team Diddy Defense. You are losing to Cassie. She is beating you. It's not even close. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what the style is. I don't know what the approach is. And I spoke to a lot of people who are just shaking their heads wondering why it is that defense counsel Anna Esteveo, who's handling the questioning on cross here, we don't know where she's going. We spent this afternoon with Cassie Ventura, ex-girlfriend, who is the most significant witness in this trial, according to the defense. They say she's the most significant witness. And what we heard for the last 3 hours was questions about the fact that she would be jealous of other girls and her drug use. Okay, yes, she took a lot of drugs. Yes, she was very jealous. I, as an attorney, can understand where you're trying to go. I'm telling you now, I can understand what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is you're trying to say that she was trying to be complicit in these freak-offs and because she was jealous and she wanted to grab his attention, or that I'm not sure how the drug use really helps you. I'm not sure. Sometimes some of the parts that they were talking about, it seemed as if she was trying to get out that Diddy was trying to help get her off drugs, which is a ridiculous direction if that's where they're trying to go. They're trying to say how he was concerned about her drug use, which which defense counsel even admitted in some of his questions. That seemed pretty hypocritical coming from Diddy of all people. And it became clear that what his jealousy was that when his concern about her drug use was that he didn't like the idea that she was doing drugs with her friends and not doing drugs exclusively with him. I don't understand how that helps Diddy. I'm sitting here and I'm racking my brain. They talked about Diddy's withdrawal and the fact that would make him irritable, and didn't she realize that would make him irritable? It comes across, I don't know if they realize this, it comes across as if they're trying to excuse the fact that yes, we know Diddy beat the heck out of this poor woman, but he was really irritable because at times he was trying to get off of his addiction to opiates. This is not a defense I was expecting, and I don't understand how this is a defense that the Diddy team feels confident that a jury is going to be able to sink their teeth into in order to give him an acquittal. I just don't understand it. And she stepped on some landmines, some really bad landmines, after she spent all day trying to establish that the only reason that Cassie herself was very into the freak-offs and making her read this text message and that text message, which during the early parts, going back to 08, 09, she does seem as if, some of them are sexually explicit implications that she was enjoying the freak-offs. But then you come to like this text exchange and questionings about 2011. At that point, in the fall of 2011, Cassie had testified that she had gotten a burner phone and a boyfriend, and that she was on the outs with Diddy because their relationship was very on and off, and that she felt that they were on a break. And she got a boyfriend, but she knew Diddy would be upset, so she got a burner phone. And then when Diddy found out about it, he went crazy, and she fled from a freak out. And the way he found out about it was in what you would think is a very controlling way, that he's going through her phone emails and finds an email from her new boyfriend, Scott, which it was saying, "Bring toiletries to my house," and he attacks her, lunging after her with a wine bottle opener clenched between his fingers. And then she has this meeting with him afterwards, and that's when he gets abusive with her, physically abusive, and starts engaging in blackmail. So the defense didn't ask about that part. Instead, they're asking a question as far as her cheating on him, which they said they recognized. They said, "You probably thought that was hypocritical considering the fact that he had lots of girlfriends while he was dating you." And she said, "Yeah, you think?" She didn't say that, but she's like, "You can say that. It's kind of hypocritical." But then Anna Esteveo asked this question, which, oh my God, talk about a landmine. She spent all day getting Cassie to read off these texts showing her interest in the freak-offs, and then she's like, "Well, if you were on a break with Diddy, why were you doing a freak-off?" And she said, Well, by that point, it had become a job. Boom! It's like everything you spent all day doing, saying how she loved the freak-offs, and you just got her to basically say to you that the reason she's doing these freak-offs, at least in 2011, is because she had no choice. That was her job. I don't know what you're doing. Team Diddy Defense, I do not know what you're doing. And I talked to the people, the other journalists covering it here, they're bored. They're like, why are we talking about her drug usage? We know she used drugs. She tried to gotcha her on, like, over here you sent a text message saying that you heard that your girlfriend was being dangled off a balcony, whereas you testified that you saw it. And she's like, I know what I saw. So it's written in that report that I heard. That's what I don't. It's not saying. When I said I heard, what she actually said, and this was actually a really funny line, is she goes, over here you said, I heard something really crazy today. Isn't that talking about? And she's like saying, she goes, Cassie, isn't that talking about when you saw Banna being dangled off of the balcony, and you're saying you heard, not that you saw it? And she says, I don't know that it's talking about that. She's like, well, it happened the same time. So what would you be talking about when you said you heard something crazy? She's like, well, with Diddy, there was a lot of crazy things. It's like, oh my God. I was like, this is not good. This is not good if you're on Team Diddy. And when I'm judging these things and I'm going through it, I'm trying to look at it from the perspective of whoever's doing the questioning, because they're the ones who are trying to help out. And some people were like, yesterday I was thinking that the prosecution here is bungling this case, and I wasn't sure how much I believe her. I believe her much more today. That's a foul for the defense. If the supplemental jury, and which is what I call the people who are watching this trial, because there's only a handful of us relative to humanity's interest in this case who have the benefit and the luxury of being able to watch this trial. A couple of hundred journalists who are watching this, which I refer to as the supplemental journalists, if they're saying they believe her more after watching the defense go to work, that's a bad day for cross-examination of what the defense themselves call the most pivotal witness in this case. So I'll give you far greater detail tonight on my podcast. I'm going to go through it this evening, and we'll go through it in great detail. And that's my report for this afternoon. They're supposed to be continuing tomorrow. They say it might be another 5 hours of cross or so, and there's supposed to be only like 30 minutes of redirect. So I'll give you that more later. Make sure you like, share, hit the bell if you want more notifications. There's no one giving you coverage on this trial the way that I am. So make sure you follow if you have interest in this case. I'll catch you soon. Godspeed.